Hey everyone, welcome to the March update for Ethereal Clash of Souls. Today we've got some incredible news to share with you all, and we'll start with our completely rebuilt backend and client, talk about some of our new systems, and even talk about some important dates for our next test. So let's dive in and explore what's new. We've rebuilt our backend and client systems from the ground up since our last test, as we found a wide array of problems and decided it'd be best to start from scratch. This has allowed us to be more precise in what our goals and priorities are when it comes to new systems and what they control. Now, there are some areas that are still disabled as they're still being worked on, but they will be back online as soon as possible. Now, let's talk about any previously made accounts. All previously created accounts are still available and have been moved over to a new, better performing database. So if you have any issues with logging into your account, please contact us via the support channels in Discord and we'll be sure to look into it. But as for now, they're running better than ever. For our next test, matchmaking will be our blind pick mode only. Team size will be set to a maximum of 3 people, and while we do have plans to expand this in the future, we're not quite there yet. You do not need to be friends with anyone you invite into those lobbies, however. For anyone that's looking for custom games, you will be able to start a custom game as long as you have 12 people in a custom match together. While our friend system was something we were happy with before, it still needed to be brought over to the new backend and given a facelift. Unfortunately, friends list did not transfer over amidst all the changes, so you will have to re-add all of your friends. But once you do that, some of you may remember we didn't have a chat system before. We did have to remove it from our last test due to some last minute issues, but the new chat system is available for you to direct message your friends or talk to your team in game. Within the client, you can now find information for every aspect of Ethereal, including everything from myths, items, familiars, primary spells, and more. There are many changes, so be sure to check them out when you get the chance. Many of you that played in our last test probably had issues with loading at some point, and if we're honest, we did too. In our efforts to redesign how our loading systems worked, we also added in the functionality to reconnect to your games. So now, if you disconnect or at worst crash, you'll be able to get back into the action instead of being forced to start a new game. Another exciting addition to Ethereal is that we've added skins for every myth in the game. They are selectable during Myth Select after you lock in your myth. As we do not have a store quite yet, every skin will be available for all players at no cost for the duration of the test. Once the test is over, they will become locked again as we work towards a store that will be available during our official release. Throughout testing, we realized that the gameplay we envisioned and created did not quite fit with the camera position we had in the past. So we've added 2 new options for when you start your first game, a strategic camera and an immersive camera. Now, these can be changed in the settings at any point, so don't be scared to try them both, but these options will let you tailor your style of play to what you prefer instead of forcing you one way or the other. We can't wait to hear your thoughts on both camera positions, so make sure to give us your feedback once you have a chance to test them out. We know sometimes games can get to a point where they just aren't fun anymore, so we've included a surrender feature into our next test. Starting at 12 minutes, your team can surrender with unanimous consent. After 20 minutes, it does become a simple majority, so 4 out of 6 members. F9 will be used to approve the surrender or F10 to decline, and these options are also available on the bottom right of your settings menu by pressing escape. Now this next one's for you controller lovers. While this feature is very early in development, we do believe it's a priority for our players to have access to playing the game on a controller if they so choose. As such, you'll be able to turn on your controller support in the settings by going to Settings, Controls, and toggling Enable Controller. After which you'll be able to find the controller layout in the settings under keybinds. You will, however, lose control on the majority of keyboard bindings. User interfaces such as the item shop and settings are also not currently compatible with the controller, so you'll still need your mouse for those. Unfortunately, this will also be limited to Xbox controllers only, as PS4 and PS5 controllers are not currently supported. Now for the moment I know you've all been waiting for. After a little over a year of work since our last test, we're excited to announce a new open test weekend in North America from May 5th to May 7th, with our Patreon members, both past and present, being able to access it a day early on May 4th. In addition, there will be a Patreon Early Access Day on Saturday, April 29th. More details about how to download the game and play in the test will be shared in the coming weeks, but we can't wait to see you all in-game again experiencing all the new features and changes. A huge thanks to our Patreon members, whose support helps the dream of Ethereal become more and more of a reality. We really appreciate every single one of you. And with more news coming, it's a great time to be an Ethereal fan.
Playtime!